You're spending half of your income on fun.
I have $40,000 in credit card debt. 40. So let's talk about it.
So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt.
Now, credit card debt is one thing that's just getting way out of hand in today's society, with people spending money they don't have just because it's free money and it's there. To some people, the cost of living is just so expensive, they have to put everything on credit cards just to be able to afford living. But I'd say the majority of the people that are in credit card debt are just spending more than they're earning. And today we're going to be looking at some quite insane situations of credit card debt.
You're spending half of your income on fun. Overdrafts disappear.
I told you they were bad.
You absolute. I've never seen $681
They're-
of overdrafts
but that's why I said
in a
they
year.
suck.
You did it to yourself. Huh?
I said I did.
Nah. Need a juice box.
Well, okay, wow. Honestly, to me, any overdraft fees is just absurd, but over $600 at this point in the year, and I think this was filmed, last September. So in 9 months, $600 of overdraft fees, which isn't even credit card debt interest. That's overdraft fees on a checking account.
$681 of overdraft in a single year. It's unheard of. $70.86 in overdraft this month alone. And mind you,
$70 in overdraft fees in 1 month. Not even interest. Overdraft fees.
all those other cards doing this thing where we're transferring money from credit cards and off credit cards so we can avoid overdraft fees. So it would probably be double. I wore this nice little shirt to have a nice good day.
It is a nice shirt.
I love Caleb so much. Anyway, all right, on to the next one here.
I have $40,000 in credit card debt. 40. So let's talk about it. First of all, that is a statement that I thought I would be taking to my grave. I never thought I would tell another soul. And in fact, until today, I have never told another soul about my struggles with credit card debt, because this is not the beginning.
That's another thing. Most people will try to hide it from their peers. They won't say no to going out one night because they don't want people to know they're having money problems. And then they end up just digging a hole even deeper and deeper and deeper.
If we rewind all the way back to about 19 or 20-year-old Lana, that is when my journey with credit card debt began. I was 19 years old and I was dating a man who was 31, and he did not support me or help me financially in any way, and I was trying to live his lifestyle off my minimum wage job, and I was living outside my means, to be quite frank. I got myself in.
At least she knows she's living outside her means, though. Some people think they deserve it, and they're like, oh, well, I deserve it, so I should be able to spend money on it. It's like, if you don't have the money for it, you cannot afford it. That's just how it is.
Into credit card debt. I stayed in credit card debt until I was about 21, at which point I was able to pay it off over the course of just like really cutting back and being very diligent about making as many extra payments as I could to my debt. And then I got out of it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the most freeing thing.
This is almost kind of worse because she's been in debt before and she got out of it, and now she's back in debt.
Never doing that again. And then I did. And then I paid that debt off. And you know what? I repeated the cycle again. I'm in my third cycle of credit.
Not even her second. Her third cycle of that's not even Dave Ramsey bad. Like Dave Ramsey, if you guys don't know, when he was in his 20s, he became a millionaire and flipping homes or something like that. But then all the banks, one of the banks closed and called all of his notes, and they said, this 20-year-old kid owes us all this money. So he went through bankruptcy. Was it twice? Oh, it may have been twice, but still, 3 times is just absurd.
Card debt, and at this point, my threshold has just gotten so big. Your threshold for debt increases with time, right? It's just like your threshold for anything else that creates stress in your life. Over time, your body has to adapt to the current conditions, so your threshold for what it can hold expands. So right now, the number 40 probably feels staggering to some of you, but it's not a number that I feel fear around.
She doesn't feel fear around 40 grand. My wife and I, we just got her a new car, and so we just got married like a little less than a month ago. And so we didn't have the money to pay cash for a new car because her other car literally just no good anymore. And it was actually her dad's car. So we gave it back to him. It was like $19,000. So what we're doing is like, I feel uneasy about owing that money. So all the extra cash we have, we're just dumping back into the loan. But even $19,000, even though we have the car, so we still have the asset along with the liability. Even that, like I get uneasy. I need to pay it off. But like $40,000 in like credit card debt.
So why am I sharing this with all of you? Well, because this debt that I've carried on and off for almost all of my 20s has cultivated so much shame for me. So much shame. I directly had my self-worth tied up into my financial picture. And so I thought that because of the fact that...
Okay, she does make a good point there. You don't want to tie your self-worth into your financials, like if that's even the right way to say it. But you also are responsible for it, and you have to have that discipline. So could go either way.
I had this debt, I was not worthy. I was not worthy. And as I've been doing a deep dive into my subconscious mind, just really into my psyche in general over the last couple of years, I have looked at everything very, very, very honestly. But money's been the one thing that I've been avoiding. The one thing that I've been avoiding. And over the last month, I have gotten to a place where I cannot avoid it anymore because I am in a very unique situation when it comes to my finances. And I've been doing all of this subconscious work. And as I sat in meditation yesterday, this just came up out of nowhere that I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it. So I first started by having conversations with my closest girlfriends because they didn't.
So it is a good thing that she's starting to tell the people around her because, you know, that's always moral support and everything. So.
And after I had spoken to them, I felt the shame just dissipating and leaving my body. And I thought, I'm going to share it with the world. I think I've always known that I was eventually going to share it with the world. I just wasn't feeling ready. And so I'm sharing this with you because I know that so many of us struggle with debt. I know so many of us are in debt right now, and I need you to remember that money is not moral.
Okay, so this video goes on for another 7 minutes still, so I'm going to cut it short there, but I do like some of the things she was saying towards the end, especially telling other people, because then it brings it out into the open and you don't have, it's like a weight off your shoulders, and then you're just free to attack it and you don't really have to worry about it after that, and you can attack the debt.
So, my husband and I are $60,000 in debt. Okay. Part of the problem.
Yikes.
You are. Let me explain how we got here. In June of 2022, we had a good amount of savings and decided that our home that we've been living in for a couple years.
June of 2020, that's like $20,000 of debt per year. If that's when she started racking up the debt, but she said she had all this extra savings, so I would assume so, but.
Just needed some maintenance and some upgrade. You can see behind me, we live in like a very normal house, but there were some things like on the outside where our stucco was falling off, so we needed to have that repaired. We had our house painted, we upgraded our bathroom a little bit, and also decided to pay off my husband's private
Home repairs, yeah, they'll do that. It doesn't. So far, she hasn't said if they used a HELOC for it or if they used the savings for it. I'm assuming they used the savings for it, which is the proper way to do it. But the only, I guess, thing that I think is okay to take a HELOC out on is home improvements, as long as they do raise the value of the home. But other than that, HELOCs are a no-go for sure.
private student loan because the interest is not great. And so we had plenty of savings and we decided to just drain those bad boys. We both had really stable jobs. We would be able to squirrel away some money over time and build back up our savings again.
That is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Like, this is why emergency funds exist, is for when people lose jobs. Because if you're like, oh, it's so fine, we both have stable jobs, we can go into debt, we'll pay it off right away. No, because you never know what can happen. That's why you need an emergency fund of like 3 to 6 months of expenses. So that way, if both of you get laid off, you can still survive for 3 to 6 months with no income.
Later, unexpectedly, I was laid off from my job. And I'm
I called it, laid off.
the breadwinner of our household, so it did not go well. I was unemployed for about 7 months. Thank goodness I had social media to keep us afloat for a little bit, but here's the deal. We had to put a lot of stuff on credit card to be able to keep ourselves afloat. So anything that could go on a credit card.
Afloat, or to be able to keep up your unnecessary spending? I would like to see those credit card statements. But
On a credit card. And that allowed my husband's income to pay for our mortgage, our car payments, our daycare, things like that. But everything else went on a credit.
I'm confused. She said she was laid off or fired. I think she said fired. But they still have to pay for daycare? So what is she doing all day long? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why are they still paying for daycare if she's not working?
We cut back as much as we could, but there's still a lot.
Cut back as much as you could. Your kids are in daycare and you're at home all day.
We finally decided to do a debt consolidation loan, and it's about $65,000. And we're gonna try and pay it off. We did a 5-year loan plan, but we're gonna try and pay it off in the next 2 years if I can finally get that OnlyFans account going. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna.
I was just about to say, that look on my face you guys just saw, I thought she wasn't kidding at first. But, so they consolidated all of their debt into one. So for those of you who don't know what that is, you take all of your debts and you put them into one loan. And usually you can get a lower interest rate. The problem with that, though, is a lot of people will consolidate and they'll think they did something and their behavior won't change. And their debt will just keep growing and growing, and they'll rack up their credit cards to the max limit again. So it's kind of risky, but
OnlyFans, but that's our goal. If our kids gets out of daycare this year, we've spent $36,000 a year on daycare. So one of them graduates this year, the other one goes to VPK, so that'll save us a little bit of money. Our hopes are that we're able to put a lot of what we were already paying for daycare towards this loan and get it paid off sooner than planned. But your girl loves to shop, so I'm gonna have to do some shit to keep myself accountable.
girl loves to shop.
Okay, let me tell you a story. I'm just gonna take a number off the top of my head. I think I'm $20,000 in credit card debt. And before you judge, but I don't really care if you judge, I'm gonna tell you why I have that much credit card debt. So at the beginning of this year, my fiance and I were going through like a rough patch. We had a 1-year-old and I had just...
Another big thing right there. Fiance and they have a child. Usually having a kid outside of marriage makes money situations really weird, especially if they don't get married. Because then if the guy wants to leave, you're not going to get any money until like child support starts kicking in. But through divorce court, you get half of his things.
I had another baby. I was out of work and, he was bringing in all the money. For like 4 months, we were just, I started to stop caring about a lot of things, and money started to become an issue because...
The stopping caring thing is huge. Some people, when they get into a lot of debt, they get overwhelmed and they just stop caring. They just don't care anymore.
Anyway, we split up, okay? Mind you, I don't have a job and I have 2...
Yeah, they split up. There you go.
Children, okay? We split up.
2 children. Okay.
I moved out of the house. The whole plan is to sell the house, whatever. I didn't have a job, so I stopped paying my credit cards. I stopped paying my credit cards in January of 2023. It is now a whole year later, December 2023. We got back together and moved back into the house in May. I didn't get a job. It was so hard to get a job. Like, I literally couldn't get a job. By the grace of Jesus Christ himself, I got my old job back. What? I got my old job back, but I technically didn't start until the end of May, beginning of June. Beginning of June. So I'm 6 months. I don't have any money. I'm not paying my credit cards. And by the time I got a job, I was about to lose my car. I was about to lose a lot of things. So I was worried about paying the things that I needed to get to work and for the kids versus the credit cards. But now, those credit cards are threatening to sue me.
That is a very real thing. If you don't pay your credit card, some people will like owe $1,000 and be like, oh, it's so little money, they won't sue me for it. I've seen so many videos of people that do get sued for as little as $1,000. Like, you don't want to play with these credit card companies. And apparently, which ones were the worst? I think American Express was one of the worst ones for suing over small balances.
I didn't know. Who the fuck reads contracts? I didn't know credit cards could sue you, so I think...
That's another thing. Credit cards can sue you because you owe them money and you are not paying on it.
Now is the time where, I'm in a better place. We have money now. We're great. We're thriving. And I should probably
That's good. She's thriving now, but yeah, like credit card companies can sue you. You can get served. Like a cop will come to your door and hand you a thing. You get served, and you got to show up in court.
start paying these credit cards off. We want a new house. We need whatever, right? We need to pay these credit cards off. I'm not going to consolidate my credit, and I'm not going to file for bankruptcy. We do have the money to pay these things off. I'm going to take you guys with me on the balances that I have now and the deals that I'm going to work out with these credit card companies. I am 24 years old. I have 2 children. You learn everything through experience in life. These credit card companies are going to put a lien on my house if I don't respond and if I don't pay them. So,
Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you don't respond or go to court or anything, they can start garnishing your wages. They take the money out before it even hits your account. Or they can put a lien on your house. Like, there's so many things they can do.
once again, didn't know that was a thing. So we're learning from experience. Call me whatever you want, but didn't know, okay? Now let's jump right into it. Credit card number 1. This is my Costco credit card. I'm so mad that I let this one go because it brought me back.
Last statement balance, $4,500 minimum payment. Costco cards minimum payment is like 25%. That's crazy. Usually for like a $4,500 balance, you'd be like, I don't know, $500 minimum monthly payment. So Costco is not messing around.
Anyways, 45, 24, 70. Fuck this bitch ass card. This is my Discover card, 61, 62, 41. Sad about this one too. This is my Best Buy credit card, 32. And
She's really got all these miscellaneous credit cards, like Best Buy credit card, Costco credit card, like
9408. And this is my Credit One card, 1037.17. I use all of my cards like I would pay like the minimum and then use them.
her credit limit on this card is only $600 and she owes $1,000. She's like almost 100% over limit.
And I basically used
never seen
all of
that
them
before.
until I had no more credit left because I was jobless.
If she's that much over the limit, she must have been accruing interest for a while, a couple of years at least.
So we're getting full transparency, okay? This is my credit score right now.
473.
I think it's funny. I think the only reason I think it's funny is because I don't need anything right now. Like, I don't need my credit cards right now.
On the bright side, the credit score doesn't really mean a whole lot when you're that much in credit card debt already. Doesn't, because you shouldn't be opening up more lines of credit. You should just be paying everything off. Honestly, I think if your credit score hits like 500, they should just not allow you to take out more debt. They just shouldn't allow you to.
I don't plan on getting a new car, although I want a new car. I don't plan on getting a new car soon, and I don't plan on moving anytime soon.
She says not planning on getting a new car soon. I hope she means just like a different car, because the only people that should be buying a new car are people that can eat the depreciation of buying a new car. Like, just buy used cars. Like, if you buy a $50,000 brand new car, when you drive that thing off the lot, it's worth $43,000. It's no longer a new car as soon as you drive it out of the parking lot.
And so what we're gonna do is we're going to actively pay these credit cards off. I added it up, guys. It's only $15,000. That's better than, I thought it was gonna be more than 20. I was kind of scared. So that's better than I thought. 15,000, that's not a lot. I could literally get that paid off in
That's pretty much what I owe on my one car. And it hurts me. But at least we have the asset of the car. So
2 months. So, yeah, but I'm gonna take you along. Let's start calling these people. So tune in to part 2 to see what we can do on these numbers and how these people want to be paid.
So she's calling the credit card companies to see how they want to be paid. Makes sense. At least she's taking responsibility for it. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did make it all the way to the end of the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.